Dave Ramsey personally overcame debt and found financial peace. Now, he teaches courses and writes books to help people manage their money. Even those who don't like him personally quote his financial rules. How should we follow his rules? Here are Dave Ramsey's rules. What are Dave Ramsey's rules? Do you wish to read Ramsey's rules in their entirety? They can be found in his book titled The Total Money Makeover, where they are organized into chapters but are not presented as rules per se, chapters 6 through 12 if you want to skip straight to them. In the meantime, here is a brief explanation along with some thoughts on why these solutions might or might not work for you. Number 1. Save a starter or emergency fund. To get your financial house in order, Ramsey recommends starting with the establishment of an emergency fund of $1,000. It is possible that this will not work for you. It may seem counterintuitive to save a small emergency fund before doing anything else, including paying off debt. But, as I've mentioned in the past, if you don't have any cash on hand, emergencies can actually send you into more debt very quickly, and it can be very expensive debt if you don't have any savings to fall back on. Having some money set aside in the event of an unexpected expense is a wise move. However, the value of $1,000 is entirely up to personal preference. There are some people who will require a great deal more, and some people less. For instance, if you are a recent college graduate living rent-free with wealthy parents, a good credit score, and excellent health insurance, having an emergency fund is not as important for you as it is for the majority of people. Number 2. Pay off all debt except your mortgage. Ramsey suggests that paying off all of your debt should be your next priority. He recommends using the snowball method, which entails paying off smaller debts first and working your way up to larger debts. Dave Ramsey refers to this strategy as the snowball method, which entails beginning with the smallest debts and working your way up to the more significant obligations as you make progress. Paying off your car loan, the balances on your credit cards, and the amount you owe on your student loans are all examples of debts. Utilizing the avalanche method, in which you pay off your debts with the highest interest rates first, is the approach that makes the most sense to take. It is not always in your best financial interest to pay off all of your debt as quickly as possible, especially if the debt has a low interest rate and you need the money for other things. First things first, compile a comprehensive list of all of your financial obligations, including each and every one of them, with the exception of your mortgage, if you currently own a home. After that, arrange your list of debts from smallest debt amount to largest debt amount, starting with the debt you owe the least amount of money on. After that, you tackle the task of paying off each individual debt, beginning with the smallest debt and working your way up to the largest debt as you progress through the process. Number 3. Build a bigger emergency fund. After all of your debts have been paid off, according to Ramsey, you should prioritize building up an emergency fund with enough money to cover 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. Once again, this is sound advice for the general population, but it almost certainly needs to be adapted to your specific situation. Evaluate the other resources you have at your disposal, such as insurance, employee benefits, passive income, and other sources of income for the household, such as the salary of your spouse, and then modify your emergency fund so that it is appropriate for your particular situation. Number 4. Save for retirement. Ramsey recommends setting aside 15% of household income for retirement, which is not necessarily bad advice, but it is arbitrary. After you have paid off all of your outstanding debts and exhausted the funds in your emergency fund, it is time to turn your attention to other significant savings goals, such as those for your retirement. If you want to follow the advice of Dave Ramsey, you should start putting away 15% of your gross monthly income into a retirement fund right away. Multiplying your monthly income by 0.15 will give you the amount that you should be putting into your retirement fund each month. You can figure this out by taking your monthly income and multiplying it by 0.15. The savings you put aside for retirement will be affected by a number of factors, one of which is the kind of retirement you envision having in the future. It is not always necessary to pay off all of one's debt and establish a sizable emergency fund prior to beginning to save for retirement. It is possible that it makes perfect sense for you to put money away for retirement at the same time that you are paying off low-priority debt and increasing the size of your emergency fund. Number 5. Save for college funds. The advice to put money away for your children's college education is without a doubt the piece of advice that is least universally followed. Clearly, this may or may not be relevant to your situation. In the 21st century, some people choose not to have children and others have no intention of having them. Not every kid ends up going to college, and not every parent has the means to pay for the kid's education even if they do go. Avoiding the burden of unpaid student loans is one of the most important things you can do as a young adult to keep yourself out of financial trouble. If you are able to pay for your child's college tuition, you will be able to guarantee their future financial security and make it more likely that they will be able to avoid going into debt. If paying your child's college expenses is a commitment you want and expect to have later in life, it is a good idea to start saving for those costs now. However, depending on our plans for the future, many of us are able to completely skip this step. Number 6. Pay off your house. Once more, there are some very significant assumptions being made here. The primary one, which is that everyone should own their own home, is something that is hotly debated. Even if you already own your home, following Ramsey's advice and paying off your mortgage as quickly as possible is not necessarily going to be the best option for you. You should put every penny of your additional monthly income toward your mortgage payment so that you can finish paying it off sooner. When you are finished with this procedure, you will officially have no debts of any kind. Instead of having a significant portion of your earnings go toward large debts and payments, they will be all yours to keep. Your mortgage is typically a very affordable form of debt, and there are even potential financial benefits associated with having one. If your investments are successful, diverting the funds that you would have used to pay off your mortgage into other investments could end up being more beneficial in the long run. Once more, this is a very general rule, and it may or may not be applicable to your situation. Number 7. Build wealth and give. After you have settled all of your debts, including the mortgage on your home, you can then begin to work on amassing wealth and helping others. If you feel uneasy about this, you are not the only person who feels this way. The majority of us who are interested in personal finance and who are, on the whole, decent people, derive a great deal of satisfaction from spending our adult lives working to amass wealth and giving away as much of it as we are able to. To be fair, this chapter in Ramsey's book is actually titled Build Wealth Like Crazy, and it focuses on just how many opportunities there are for wealth building once you have basically reached the point where you are financially independent. At the same time, don't be afraid to look at opportunities to build wealth and give it away to make the world a better place, no matter what age you are or what stage of life you are in. Focusing even more on it if you've already finished all the other steps here is a good idea. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.